This is day 49 of the Zohar al Pshat, and we are on page Vav Amud Aleph. We talked about the Hutaya, who was with them, and we talked about Kis and Yesh, and we're in the middle of the page. Let's move towards the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 lines down. Chad Rabbi Lezer Rabbi Abba Bachu. The Rabbi Lezer and Abba were happy and they cried. Obviously, cried from joy. Almost zero chib. You ride for Anam Natim Basrach, and we'll drive donkeys behind you. Amar Luni said, they said to them, didn't I tell you to put the Malka, you, that didn't I tell you that this is the command of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of the king? Adi Yesu, the Ton Chamei, until he who comes born by the donkey, as you say, says Mashiach. Amar Yashim Chalo Amartolon. Didn't tell us your name. Asar Beis Mosach Lehi, where do you live? Amar said, Asar Beis Mozi Tav. The place I live is a good place. Va'ayla Gaboy, that's appropriate for me. And it is a certain tower floating through the air. Rav, which is great, Vakir, and precious. Now we know Doeg Achitef Dorish Loshmi Halach is Migdal Parech Ba'avir, and that Migdal Parech Ba'avir was Halachic Migdal Parech Ba'avir, but it's also the Agoric Migdal Parech Ba'avir. Rabbi Tzadok speaks about it. It's the top of the Lamed. The Lamed. Lamed has the only letter which goes above the line in Hebrew. I have to frequently mention this. I mentioned here in this series, though, is that in the early Hebrew word processors, it was very difficult to do a Lamed because in the early Hebrew word processors were based on English, and in English there's no letter which goes above the line of other letters. The letters which go below the line of other letters, but no letter which goes above the line. And Lamed goes above the line because it represents Limud. And it's by a Chaf, surmounted by a Vav, and the Vav is the Migdal, and that Migdal is Parech Ba'avir, and it connects us to higher worlds. By learning, we connect to higher worlds. And in that, the Zohar elsewhere says that in that Migdal lives the Bart, the Malka, I forget exactly the language which is used. He doesn't bring it down here. Anyway, so that Migdal Parech Ba'avir is referred to here as a place where the Dayan Bay behind Migdala, Kuchabrichu Chat Miskina. Hashem lives with a certain poor person. The poor person are the Yisrael Yisrael. In other words, even though we're bluyim, schuvim, utchufim in this world, we suffer immensely, but we also live at the same time with HaKadosh Baruch Hu in that Migdal Parech Ba'avir. And Migdal Parech Ba'avir, not just it transcends the Bria, but also it doesn't have a place in the Bria. So Am Yisrael is constantly buffeted by all sorts of external forces, but we survive because we also transcend at the same time. That's where I live. The Golina Mitamon, but I went to Golos from there. And I'm now driving donkeys, which is obviously symbolic. In other words, we really have no place in the world. We try to transcend this world, but we don't. We find ourselves driving donkeys, the chomrius of this world, because that was Ratzon Hashem, that we should take the Migdal Parech Ba'avir with all of its loftiness and its connection to Shemayim and bring it down to drive donkeys in this world, to deal with the chomer of this world. Ashko Rabbi Abba, Rabbi Lezer Bey, Rabbi Lezer paid attention to him. And he taught them words which are evidently not brought down here, which were sweet as mon and as honey. They said, Shumcha Davuch, if name your father. If he tells us, Ninchich Avad Raglach, we will kiss the dust of your feet. In other words, obviously there's the father here. It seems it's also going to be a person, but it's also symbolic of where he's coming from in his avodah in this world. Amr said, Vamai, why? Why should I tell you his name? Lav Orchtali Bekachli Zgar Baraisa. It's not the derech to take pride in Torah. Ava Abadli Dili, but you should know my father have a duri biyama rabba. He lived in the Great Sea. You have a Chadnuna, and he was a certain fish. The Hava Ascha Yama Rabba, who would travel around the Great Sea, Misitrador from side to side. Vava Ravi Akira, and he was great and precious, Vatika meaning ancient. Had to have a bola kol sharnunin diyama until he swallowed up all the other fish in the sea. But then he expelled them, and they were alive and sustained. Mayim kol tamid amma, with all goodness of the world. Pshat yama bariga chara betukfe, and he would swim the entire sea in one moment in his strength. V'apikli ki gira biyada gibar, and he shot me out like an arrow in the hands of a powerful persecutor. Biyada gira in the hands of a powerful warrior. V'tamli abu asra, and he hid me in that place. Amisluchu, which I told you about. Utabla asrein, he went back to his place. V'agnis boyama, and hid himself in that sea. So the word nuna for fish is but in Tehillim Ayin Beis it says Yanun Shemo, and there's I think the Gemara Sanhedrin says that Shem Melch Mashiach is Yanai, because of the Lashon Yanun Shemo, and that means something where something which is expansive and transcends generations and grows from time to time. It's the Mepharshim say it's the Lashon of Nin V'Nechad. Right, something which has progeny, it grows and expands and passes down. And obviously, the Yama Rabbi here is the Torah, and the great fish is, which you're talking about, is the expansive power of Torah, which is a power which absorbs, but then renews and refreshes and sustains and brings about additional progeny, which are themselves influenced by the original fish. So by and so there's ever expanding greatness, and the Torah creates this greatness in the world, and then it shoots us out into the world to the Mina Perech Bavir, to evidently transcend the world, and then come back down to drive the donkeys. Okay, so there's the greatness within the Yam. No, always Yam represents the Yam of Talmud, the Yam of Torah, and this greatness which begets more greatness, gives birth to more greatness, and this greatness is where I got. The Taya says the spirit, which allowed me to be in that transcendent connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but then drove me down in order to deal with this world as I'm dealing with it today. Okay, and the story, of course, will go on from there.